to have a joke with you. I know you won't mind, but then I'm very careful about others. I realize John is one, and then I see, then everyone joins, then there is no problem.
Get on, but I think she said, oh, there she is again.
Who is coming?
Welcome, everybody. The only person that so far that I haven't heard from, but we should start. No worries.
We should start. So, invocation and auspiciousness. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So we are studying Gita. Why? To study ourselves. That is the biggest difference between the science and Eastern wisdom. We study Eastern wisdom to study ourselves, to reveal that hidden potential in us, to reach to that state of the real self and allow that real self to live our day to day life, to become homeless, jobless, knowledgeless like me. So when you are homeless, jobless, knowledgeless, even add relationless. I'm related to everyone. I'm not related to. I'm related to none. I'm related to everyone. How come? I just went outside, huh, to the island in the kitchen. Honey offered me tea. So I have to play my role. Play my role doesn't mean that I am joking, I'm making fun. Huh? No, I perform my role as Honey is a husband. So I am related to her. Now I came here, that relation less. Now that is relationless. When that happens, ask yourself when that happens. When the intellect is not sitting in the honey while teaching you. Clear? When the intellect is sitting where it is living its life. For the sake of clarity, my friends, intellect, ego, mind, memory. I told you, functionally, in Eastern psychology, they are functionally four, but structurally one. So I will use intellect only. Why? Because the intellect gives us a knowledge. That is why. Sometimes it identifies with the ego and mind and memory, etc., etc. That's a. Now you wake up in the morning. What is the first thought? Let me have a cup of tea. Intellect is sitting in the cup of tea. Oh, what happened? I have to make my honey understand she misunderstood. Intellect is sitting her there. Now I have to do a lot of stuff. Intellect is sitting in all those stuff. Are you getting it? It's a very beautiful principle. I will only explain the two verses. I will write it down so that you can have easy translation of these two verses from the Gita. when the intellect is unsteady, unstable, unstable, unsteady, you are bound to suffer. There is no one in the world that can help you move into the peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. So, if I understood how my intellect becomes unstable, reverse question. If I understand how my intellect becomes unstable in daily life, what will happen? I will come to know. Then we will understand how to make the intellect steady. First thing is to know the cause, the root cause of the suffering. Why I say so? Ask yourself. The way I told you, the way the teachers of the Eastern wisdom thinking is what the learning is passed on to the seekers. And then when the seeker starts thinking in the same way, my master used to say, "Come on, are you happy?" I said, "No, I'm not happy. That's why I'm with you." So, for God's sake, you start thinking the way I am thinking, even for a week. Why? Because then your mind will start understanding, it will drop 90% of the cause of your stress and problems. And if it does not happen, leave me. He was so forthwith, straight. And it took me, I was fool and I'm still fool, I told you, knowledgeless. It took me 5, 6 years of understanding those principles. And once the intellect absorbed these principles, ah, that day was the day of awakening. Now understand, knowledge of the reality or the truth cannot have a barrier limitation when it was discovered, whether it was discovered 10,000 years ago or whether it is discovered today. It does not have any location except the intellect. It is that knowledge of the reality makes you a teacher. It is not limited to one teacher. That is why I say I am being supported by all the teachers of the Eastern wisdom. That is why I speak with such a confidence, not because of my ego. Many people, I have told you, contact me on LinkedIn, pay me $10,000. I will show you the way you can start earning millions. So, first time, the first question they asked me, "Are you excited?" I said, "Why should I be excited? I'm calm, relaxed, ready to listen to you." And they say, "No, if you are not excited, then this program is not for you. Thank you. Bye bye." Why should I be excited? You see the pattern, the way it is going? Why should I be excited? I must feel excited because you contacted me, because you have the knowledge. But Eastern wisdom says this knowledge of the reality has no limited, is not limited by one teacher, by not limited by the gender, not limited by the location, not limited by the time when it was discovered. Knowledge is knowledge. Concluded, when anyone approaches you and he says, "I know everything, I can give you," be careful. Now, I'm not saying don't go with them, but be careful. Clear? Intellect. That is why, my friends, that intellect was not a livelihood of the teachers of Eastern wisdom. That is where the concept of charity came. What is that concept? Okay, this guy lives in the Eastern wisdom, hence, the society, the king has to support him or her. Yes, Kate.
Is that what they mean by seva, true seva?
Seva, yes. The person who is living a family and the professional life are bound to serve those people who are teachers of the Eastern wisdom, so that they should not fall into the personal, family, and the professional life. So, concept of charity came. That is why the Buddha, when he became a monk, many kings supported him to build the monasteries and start the journey. Why I gave that example of a LinkedIn? People contact me and they say, I know I can make your business thrive. You pass on that wisdom with the peace and happiness. Let people understand it. How much they understand, they will be able to thrive. Suppose if the Bill Gates, and then I will come, I get one, my intellect is itching me, so I must omit it out, vomit it out. So if the Bill Gates creates a principle, how can you become a second Bill Gates? Can there be a second Bill Gates? Can there be a second Warren Buffett? The people who are running this business, it is possible that you come out, you earn a little more than, but you do not become other. You remain you. We have hundreds of principles. Now, come directly. Where the intellect is sitting defines your life, because the intellect gives you the knowledge defines your behavior, your attitude, your action. I may know what I know, that the real self is self existent, all pervading, full of permanent peace and happiness. I know it, right? But is my intellect sitting there? No. Then what will happen? I will suffer. I am suffering. Then what people say, I know what you are teaching. People say me. I stop there. I say, thank you very much. You know what I'm teaching. You see that I don't care whether the money is coming or not. I stick to the principle. You know it? Very good. Thank you very much. Let us stop. So use your intellect to solve your problem. We'll meet next week. Can you have that level of confidence coming from? Because it is supported by all the teachers in the Eastern wisdom. So when the intellect is sitting in the real self, it is known as steady wisdom. It is known as steady intellect. And the man of awakening and realization has this steady wisdom. John Gita says it is sthita prajna. The word is used, sthita prajna, sthit, settled completely, and wisdom, knowledge. Understand, step by step. I may stretch another 10, 15 minutes more, so bear with me. Intellect sits in the real self is known as the steady wisdom. And the man of a steady wisdom will remain totally free from stress, suffering, conflict, confusion, anxiety, will have enough to sustain and maintain his livelihood. Why? That intellect will give you the right knowledge at the right time. Many people say it is intuition, it is, illuminate, a lot of other creamy stuff. Gita says straight away, steady wisdom. That steady wisdom makes us free from good and also bad. Come on, what you are talking? If I am doing good, if I have a habit of doing good, we may build ego of doing good. That ego is gone. I'm free from good and bad. Bad, obviously, Intellect, steady wisdom. I like a food, particular food, but no preference. I will say, oh, what do you want to eat? For example, I will say I like to eat pasta, but I don't have pasta. Whatever you have, I will eat it. Why? My intellect says eat to live or live to eat. It clearly understands instantly. It does not have any likes and dislikes. Are you understanding? I'm taking you to a deeper level, step by step, huh? From outer to the inner. So I don't have any negativity. No, we don't have pasta. So what you have? I have noodles. Okay, I will eat it. That also. I'm okay with it. I'm feeling hungry. Intellect shows us the path to goodness and progress. If the intellect shows us the path to cheating, to manipulation, it is not the steady intellect. I should be clear in my head. Intellect shows us the path to steady wisdom, intellect, knowledge. It helps us to focus on the work in hand. So those who do not know, perhaps you all know, I opened the virtual session 10 minutes before. I'm waiting for you. It is the other way. I'm waiting. I'm always waiting. No, because I'm a busy guy, I have to show you that I'm very busy. That's why I will come in time. What an attitude. Where your intellect is sitting. Come on. That outwardly, I may impress people, but inwardly, I'm in duality, conflict, and confusion. Why shouldn't I be ready 10 minutes before? I learned this again from my master. I was 1 hour before my master starts speaking. Why? I'm not saying that you should do it. I'm telling my bad habits. So for 1 hour, I was absorbed into meditation. Last talk, I was revising, I was reflecting, and now I am ready. Come on, teacher, I will take everything what you give me. But if I'm in a hurry, my intellect is sitting somewhere else, what I will get? Just to give you an example. If the intellect is sitting in the real self, it prevents any action that causes crime, exploitation. It settles with the good impressions in your life. Intellect discovers the satisfaction with oneself if the intellect is sitting in the real self. I'm happy, satisfied. Why? Because intellect is sitting in the real self. What do you mean by satisfied? You are hungry? Why don't you earn? Yes, I will earn money. I'm earning money. I'm earning money. But I'm not dependent on the money for my satisfaction. Steady intellect. So I'm just talking of the steady intellect first. And then I will talk what makes the intellect unstable. And once you understand it, I told you, seed becomes the tree over, does not become the tree. I have to contemplate, reflect on it. I'm making you aware also at the same time. Seeker with a steady intellect does not disturb in pain and the suffering. Why? Why? I'm going out of my room. I fell down. Did I create an intention to fall down? To create a pain? It happens. Mistake happens. Let it happen. Christina, mistake happened. Forget it. Move ahead. Yeah. So, seeker with a steady intellect is not affected by any pain, likes, dislikes, hate, envy that returns from the world to you. The great message of the Gita. It is bound to happen. Don't we have day and night? If there is only day, don't we have different seasons in the world? It is bound to happen. The world will have a likes and dislikes, pain and pleasure, but I'm unaffected. Come on. So if there is a day and night, there will be insult and praise also. Some will appreciate you, some will insult you. Let us take it. You'll have favorable circumstances, you have unfavorable circumstances. Accept it. Steady intellect continues to grow, continues to be created. That guy is not caught by the pleasure, not react to the pain. Why? Why? Intellect is sitting in the real self. First, I'm giving you a brief of it, and then we will see the why the intellect is unstable, why it is not sitting in the real self. Steady intellect, the man of steady wisdom, steady intellect lives in happiness within and instantly recognizes the pleasure outside that will lead us to pain. The man of the steady wisdom sets entire life in order. Orderliness comes from inside, not from outside. Intellect is sitting in people, in relations, in enemy, in friend, in honey, in objects, money in the bank account, in community. You are bound to be crazy. Crazy. Take it to any level, to the highest level. The intellect is sitting in the bank account. If you have $1 million, no worries. If you have only $1, you have all the worries because intellect is sitting there. Then, and if the intellect is sitting in the real self, I have it, thanks God. I don't have it, thank God, I have an opportunity to work. Steady intellect, that is the meaning of the steady intellect. Intellect is sitting in them, they depend on them. And if they depend on anything outside, you are bound to suffer. My master used to say, so it's very easy to take excuse by saying that my master has said it to make you understand. So I take the liberty. But in fact, this my master has already said it. When we wake up in the morning, thoughts of object, people, wealth, problems, sorrow, suffering enters the mind. That indicates the intellect, where our intellect is sitting. Intellect gives me the knowledge. Knowledge of worries, Sun is saying, come on, I welcome you, and you are living with the worries. Intellect is sitting. The intellect does not want to leave thoughts of objects of the world and the world of objects. Fears, insecurities do not leave your life. It means intellect is constantly changing objects of the world, feeling fear, frustration. It is not steady. What my master used to say, if you do not live into the steady wisdom, you're like a beggar. My master is saying, I'm not pointing you. You all are rich, that's why you are paying me. So, a beggar has no fixed place to beg, shelter, and clothe. My master says that our intellect is wandering like a beggar has no fixed place in the, and that is the cause of the sorrow and the suffering. You are living in a mansion, right? But the intellect is living in fear, desires, craving. Are you getting it? Antoinette, are you getting it? You see, I'm laying a foundation. Come on, I have a big house. What about your intellect? I have a lot of problems. Many people used to call me before COVID. I know. I am aware. Oh, what a beautiful house. That's why I invited you to my house. Thank you. But why you have invited me? To pay me to bring an end to the suffering. So I know where your intellect is sitting. So I have an easy solution. I know my job is easy. I have understood your nature. Are you getting it? We all have intellect. Every human being has an intellect. Now I'm coming directly. Coming directly to the that. I take, so what happens? The intellect can make the journey by when it is settled in the real self. There are 8 factors because of which the intellect is not settled in the real self. 8 factors. And that is what we are going to understand, that 8 factors. 8 factors. So before we understand 8 factors, let us know the 4 factors first, and then we will go to the another 4 factors. What are the 4 factors? This is what is written in the, explained in the Gita. John, I have written Gita chapter 2, verse number 62. People write academically, oh, this is what they say. It doesn't make any difference. So 4 factors. What are 4 factors? 1 is object. 2nd is attachment. 3rd is desire. 4th is anger or hesitation. It is common to everyone. My friends, Sarah, are you listening?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. So, before understanding, remember the 4 factors. Keep in your head all the time. Object, attachment, desire, anger or anxiety. Means what? Beginning of an anxiety, fear, insecurity, duality, conflict, hesitation by the 4 factors. And the next 4 factors makes your life crazy. You make your life crazy. You are bound to suffer. That we will take up later. So now go to the first factor. Object. What is the object? Anything outside you is an object. Your honey is an object for your intellect. I am an object for your intellect, right? Money is an object for your intellect. Understood, right? So when I told you the intellect is sitting outside, means it is sitting on an object, right? When it sits on the object outside, it sticks like a gum. By default, it sticks like a gum. How can you say? Tell me, do you like me? Or do you dislike me? Yes or no? The moment you say you like me, the gum has already created. You like your honey? Yes. Or no? If no, that is also a problem. If yes, that is also a problem. Understand, I'm going a little deeper. When we are attached to any object outside, it sticks to the intellect like a gum. The sense of freedom is gone. It's a beginning of freedom is paralyzed. Why? Object will not remain forever. Any object, money, mention. Think of anything. My dear friend, you have to understand, Christina, to move into the steady wisdom. Now tell me, if I say intellect is sitting in an object, what is the center or focus of the intellect? It is attachment. That is why I say object plus attach. Second factor is attachment. When we bind or attach our mind to any object or a person, we create a bondage by thinking repeatedly. If I like you, I will think about you. If I dislike you, I will still think about you. So thinking adds a gum. It intensifies the gum. The bond creates a dependence, and dependence pushes the intellect in the background, and the mind projects a happiness, and that happiness is a false sense of pleasure. Are you getting it? That is why you'll be surprised that Gita is translated in more than 50 languages and more than 700 million copies sold, and still people are suffering. Because we don't get the essence of it. Now, can I say the moment this intellect or the mind or the ego perceives the object of the world outside by default, we stick like a gum, unconsciously, habitually, or consciously. And that gumming comes by thinking. Thinking is a thought. Go back, what I told you. What first thought you get in the morning? Sun says, sun welcomes us. Good morning, honey. You say, no, I have lot of problem with my honey. You're always sticking like a... No, I want a coffee first, then I will say good morning to you, son. I'm sticking to a coffee. I only need my intellect to become aware where the intellect is sitting. I don't realize intellect is sitting with that. It is already creating an attachment and now repeatedly thinking. Bondage or attachment is like a gum. When we use it, it sticks to things and object. Any gum. The intellect chooses the object or a person with likes, then it wants to keep other objects and people at bay. It creates likes and dislikes because intellect sticks like a gum. It is ready to insert, dislike, react to others. Our intellect divides the world into two, likes and dislikes, by default. Then what happens? Third stage, the desire takes root from attachment or bonding. Desire. What is the meaning of a desire? What is the meaning of a desire? And once you keep in the mind the definition, the meaning of the desire, your intellect will always be alert, aware, attentive. First step of the desire, I feel sense of incomplete in myself. Rest in I feel sense of incomplete in myself. So what is that sense of feeling incompleteness? The sense of feeling incompleteness means I have fear, I have insecurity, and I have lot of challenges in the mind. Second step of desire, that if I get something from outside, it will bring an end to my fear and insecurity. Huh? So a single wants to get married, that is his or her desire, right? The person who does not have a money wants money to be happy. So third point, I project a happiness in that object. Did you understand the desire? First point. What is the first point? I feel the sense of incompleteness. So I will see outside. Money will give me happiness. So second point, my mind has projected happiness in the money. And now I want to work to earn money. So money is the second factor. Third factor, projecting happiness. I projected happiness, but happiness is not present in the money. Happiness is not present in the honey I got married. Don't tell your honey otherwise, So outwardly you have to say that, but but internally you have to realize this. Your intellect is sitting in your honey and you say, honey, how are you? Stop nonsense. I don't want to talk to you. All happiness is gone. Did you understand that? First point is object. And I have to see object. By default, it is but natural. Every day I wake up in the morning. But question is, if I have a steady intellect, I see it, but no attachment, no sticking like a gum. So no desire for happiness outside. No desire for self-fulfillment outside. Are you understanding that? It does not mean, I'm not saying you should not earn money. I'm not saying you should not marry. I'm not saying you should not divorce. Whatever you are doing, do it. But now you have a steady intellect. Are you understanding? When you have that steady intellect, you know what is the right decision, what is the right thought, what is the right speech, what is the right action, and you live into that state of the calmness and peace. But if you don't live, you don't have a steady intellect, you are carried away by the desire, then frustration comes, then anger comes, then crying comes. That is what modern psychology says: anxiety, panic attacks, reaction, duality, conflict. Now you should have a smile on the face because now your intellect is steady. You have known the cause, why the intellect is unstable. Right? Okay,
The
4 more.
tears don't stop, Girish.
No, let it not stop, but you keep smiling.
When will the tears stop, Girish? They don't stop.
You keep smiling. Let the tears continue to come. Defeat your tears by the inner happiness. So now what? See the first again. Remember object, attachment, desire. Now, if the desire is fulfilled, what happens? Pleasure. So when the pleasure comes, what you do? You want to repeat the pleasure because the pleasure is short-lived. Huh? The amount of pleasure that you get in eating pasta for the first time is 100%, second time 90%, third time 70%. You ultimately it is short-lived. And now one day you are going to the same restaurant to eat pasta, you say, no, not now, no more pasta. It's enough is enough. So now the same pasta gives you pain if I offer you 50th time. It says you say enough is enough. Steady intellect, where your intellect is sitting. Is it sitting in the pasta or it is sitting in the real self? If it is sitting in the real self, then what happens? Then pasta has come. Thank you. Because the mind has not projected the pleasure in the pasta or a person whom you say honey or whom you say a friend. Everything works outside as it is. Are you getting it? It is very important to understand where the intellect is sitting. That leads us to the supreme goal of life. Are you living your life for desire fulfillment or self fulfillment? If you are living your life with the self fulfillment, no one dares you to give you stress in the world. Self fulfillment. Internally, you are so strong. Even in pain, in pleasure, you have a lot of money. You are not egoistic. You have no money. You are not frustrated. You know you have the strength, you have the power, you have the steady wisdom to do something to get it. You don't measure yourself with $1 million, huh? Plus daily injection of diabetes at your home. That is your dividend of earning 1 million. We will talk something about later why Bill Gates is Bill Gates. We have a right answer. Why Warren Buffett is Warren Buffett. If you are interested. So we are not going there. We have answer of all those things. So self-fulfillment means self-fulfillment means what? The intellect is sitting in the real self. 24/7. So those four factors you have not created. Now the next four factors. When the intellect is sitting in the real self because I recognize it, it has found its permanent place sitting there in peace and happiness. If it is not, first four factors, where it leads to another four factors. First four factors is a slow fall from being a human being, and we don't realize it. We blame, we complain, we react to the world outside, to the society, to the political system, to our honey, to the employer. So it gives us, it's a slow fall because we have blamed others. Other is responsible for my sorrow and the suffering in my life. Are you getting it? We fall in consciousness. We do not rise in consciousness. So fall in consciousness, I become habitual, heavily conditioned. My intellect is sitting at different places. And modern life is like this. Modern life adds more of these factors. That's why we experience when these four factors are attacking me all the time. Hell with you, honey. Hell with the business. I tried very hard. I did not get it. Blah, 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 lot of challenges. Then what happens? Then what happens to the mind? We rationalize our intellect. When we rationalize our anger, our hesitation, our aggression, because of non-fulfillment of desire, the intellect is corrupted. I'm using the word. Now the intellect is corrupt. It reaches at its peak. How it reaches its peak? Christina is responsible for my problem. I'm blaming, reacting, hesitating others. The same object I was seeking for my pleasure and happiness. And now the same object in a person is responsible for my problem. Am I crazy or the person is crazy? Are you getting it? You must get it clearly. So the intellect should stop sitting in the anything outside. Intellect should be sitting inside my real self. If it is not sitting in the real self, blame, complaint, reaction to people, event, object, it has to come. You see, sometimes people say, do you think that I'm less intelligent? I never thought like this. Why should I think like this? But from where that thought has come? From your ego. You're not able to solve your problem and still you are challenging others. So that is why my master used to say you have to listen, listen, listen again until these principles becomes your own. Now see what happens, the other four factors. So when you live into that state of with the four factors, it has conditioned your life. What happened? It has conditioned your life. What is conditioning? Mechanical, habitual, instinctive, impulsive. In that impulsive, you react to me. It's okay. Then I say, I'm extremely sorry. You feel that reaction. Okay, I'm sorry. So I follow the same method as you follow. When you say sorry, I also say sorry. I'm speaking about the principle. I'm not talking about you. But definitely I'm talking about, I'm hammering your intellect, I'm hammering your ego, and that is why you feel hurt. You don't want to break the comfort zone. When you follow these, when your intellect is sitting in all these places, four factors, what happens? The fourth one, it is the delusion. Anger or anxiety or hesitation. If you have slightly hesitated, it reduces the joy in your life. You see, what is anxiety, anger, and aggression in Eastern wisdom? It is known as krodha. The word is krodha. And the definition of the krodha is that state of the intellect which prevents happiness and joy in life. Now see, understand. What a beautiful way to present. That's what I told you, that these 3,000 teachers, they are not crazy. The way they have validated this knowledge. What? Anxiety, anger is that state of the intellect that prevents the joy in my life. I'm upset. It is preventing the happiness in my life. From where it has come? From the desire. From where the desire has come? From the attachment. From where the attachment has come? The world of objects outside. So now we are in the fifth one. what happens? Now ask yourself what is happening. The intellect brings its siblings in our attitude of obstinacy, ego, resistance. My way is the only way. It destroys your intellect. That is what the fifth factor is. What is the fifth factor? Fifth factor is delusion. Now I live in delusion. I claim I am intelligent. What a great master teaching. Then we must face another four factors. They are delusion, fourth, no, fifth one, loss of memory, sixth one, loss of intelligence, seventh one, destruction in life, eighth one. I destroy my life myself. I destroy my life myself. Let us understand, whether you agree or not, but what happens when we are hypnotized by our own intellect, which is sitting at different objects, causes the anger and anxiety. When we live in the state of anger or anxiety, includes hesitation, aggression, obstinacy, we enter into the fifth factor of delusion. The delusion means we only see what appears true, not what is true. What is the meaning? My way is the only way. My way is the only way. Can I give you an example? I fall in love with you. Take any example. You are 5, 6, 7 people. I fall in love with you. The first problem is that why I fall in love with you? Why shouldn't I rise in love with you? Why I fall in love with you? Because of desire, because of attachment, because of the object. So laugh at your own intellect. So because I fall in love with you, I'm in delusion. So when I'm in delusion, what it means? My way is the only way. My intellect says my way is the only way. You cheated me. I loved you so much. That is the meaning. My way is the only way. I am independent. I can love you. I can fall in love with you today, and I can stop falling in love with you tomorrow. How can you control me? No, but I want to control you, so I have a delusion. I don't want anyone control me, but I want to control everyone. Delusion, ego, subtle ego. Are you getting it? The delusion means we only see what appears true to me. What appears true to me, but it is not true. We even lose right memory, right attitude, right thought, right speech, right action. It is what is called the loss of memory. The loss of memory brings many challenges in day-to-day life. What are those challenges? Oh, I'm remembering John again and again. John, why John doesn't talk to me? So then I have tears. I react. So who is responsible for it? Intellect is sitting there with the John. Why it is sitting with the John? Because of delusion. Why it is have a delusion leads to loss of memory. We forget how to relate to others. That is what the loss of memory is. Do you see that? Loss of memory, the fifth factor in the society, nation as a whole. People start blaming the nation, blaming the political system. You see? Huh? They don't take care of themselves. They don't want to evolve. But they have blame and complain everywhere. What happens with that loss of memory? You forget how to sleep in rest and relaxation. I'm giving one example. You have 1 million diseases that enters into your life. Disturbed sleep, how to rest and relax, you forget. You say, my thoughts are popping up all the way in my mind. What should I do? You are responsible for it. Loss of memory. Pay attention. Because of loss of memory, we create another problem, loss of intelligence. And loss of intelligence creates another problem. It destroys my life. It's a slow poison. Huh? Slow poison. Huh? Not everyone is lucky to go to mental hospital. We continue to suffer day to day. This is what the master is saying. I'm not saying. Loss of intelligence leads to destruction in life. We forget to use proper words in the speech to people we love and care. Why? Because I'm in delusion. Your dad says, come on, calm down. You don't listen to the dad. You don't listen to your mom. You don't listen to your honey. Because that right advice does not enter into you. Why? Because of the delusion, because of the loss of memory, because of the loss of intelligence. Why? Because the intellect is sitting somewhere outside. And what happens when there is a loss of intelligence? First thing, you lose self-respect. You lose self-honor. You lose self-reputation. You lose self-character. The intellect is totally corrupted. We fail to be a human being which is gifted with self-awareness to make a right choice, to make our life a celebration. Is intellect one or many? Now I'm solving your problem also. If anyone has a problem, come on. I'm more intelligent than you. So I think better than you. So that is why I have 100 questions. All questions are invalid. Why? There is no your intellect, there is no my intellect. There is only one intellect, there is a cosmic intellect. There is only one intellect, which we say in Eastern in wisdom, it is known as Mahat. It is known as cosmic intellect. So now what happens? Now see, I'm inserting you. Means what? I'm inserting my own intellect. I'm inserting my own intellect. I'm repeating again. If I'm inserting your intellect, I'm not giving you a clarity. It means I'm inserting my own intellect. So that is how I say, those LinkedIn people, they come, oh, are you excited? No, why should I be excited? I'm happy. I'm calm and relaxed. I'm calm and relaxed. I want to work in the state of calm and relaxed, which is the property of the real self, and intellect is sitting there. So it means you don't want to earn money. Who doesn't want to earn money? No, because you are not excited. That is why you don't want to earn money. I am insulting my own intellect. I don't want to work with those people. Definitely not. I will pray for them that one day they will not be excited. Go a little, and they should remain calm. Animals also have intelligence, understand, but their level of intelligence remain the same today, even after millions of years of existence of these animals, like elephant, living for thousands of years. It did not grow, it remained the same. Now, if my intellect is sitting in these 8 factors, I'm not growing, even if I have millions of dollars. Forget about it. I'm not growing. There is no growth. I have to suffer. The human intellect has grown remarkably because it knows how to understand the effects of action and refine and shine further. It has worked how gadgets can be created and used from the matter. Animals cannot do. Many animals are surviving even after thousands of years, but we are scared of our own extinction. We are scared, you see, the science are talking about it, that we are on the verge of extinction. Why? 8 factors. We have been concerned about what we have done to our fellow men, our nature, our earth, our air, our space, and more. Why? Only one reason: intellect is not sitting in the real self. Because it is sitting outside, it is corrupt, it has become corrupt, and that is why it has constantly complaining, blaming life, while the life is so beautiful. You see that the topic was how the intellect becomes unstable. What is steady intellect? Right? I can also subtitle this topic, what is the cause of suffering in human life? Because my perception is faulty. Perception means knowledge. Knowledge lives in the intellect. My intellect is sitting somewhere. For example, I see, this is an example only. I see Christina is smiling. I take it, oh, she is insulting me through her smile. Look, see that. Knowledge. So I receive a wrong knowledge. Single thing. Because the intellect, when it is sitting outside at different places with different people, with different things, your intellect will ultimately conclude and results into one or more than one of the 8 factors. That is your knowledge, isn't it? Knowledge lives in the intellect. Kate was just saying before the beginning of it. I made her clear. It is not the way. So we will understand how to make this intellect steady. There are 2,000 practices, but I will summarize into a couple of groups. And from the groups, I will hint you, this is the way to make your intellect steady. What a beauty of this text, which is known as Gita. And we are still studying only the 2nd chapter. We have 18 chapters to go. So once you understand this clearly, at least we believe we have an intellect. We believe so, isn't it? It is only we have to understand where the intellect is sitting. You see? So I just gave a title to these 2 verses only. Unstable, unsteady intellect, corrupt intellect. Don't make your intellect corrupt. Don't deflate the tires of your car and then start driving. Don't throw your smartphone forcibly on the floor and then say, let me connect to you. Don't do that. corrupt intellect. Do you see that? Corrupt intellect. I like pasta, so I continue eating and I land up with the overeating and then morning hangover. Corrupt intellect. I love you and you come and say I hate you and I get upset. Why should I get upset? Why? Why? I am of the nature of love. My intellect is sitting in the real self. That is the way the life is. Will you continue to learn from me? After all, someday you will say, enough is enough. Weird guy, you are crazy. That is enough is enough. I have learned a lot from you. Let me live my life. I don't have time. So why should I feel insulted? That is the way the life is. Are you getting it? See that? So, if you come with the higher receptivity, you contemplate and reflect on these principles, you change. You want to change further, you may come back to me or you leave me. You'll find something else. Any question?
Yeah, I guess I have one. Bear with me on the wording, I guess. Just in terms of to end your suffering and the whole attainment of peace. So in relation to that, you want to basically sacrifice your attachments, desires. I really do understand that. But as you've mentioned, we need to go about life. We need to put food on the table and things like that. For, I guess, speaking in relation to the individuals who are, I guess, driven and, want to be successful. So that's kind of like, one of the things that I've really battled with my journey through self-help, because I am very, you know me pretty well, Girish. I'm very driven. And I know that can bring about suffering, and I've made a lot of improvement over the years doing that. But I think you really did start to touch on that when you spoke about the properties of the self and being able to work in the calm and relaxed. So I guess if you can just help me to understand this a bit. So for myself, I guess I can go about wanting to, because I'm not talking materialism. I'm not talking materialistic. That's not something that is, okay, I want to go buy a Ferrari and I want all these things, right? But to me, I want, it's something that it's important to me, like, because I want, whether it's, security or whatever, but it's not the materialism things. It's not what I'm attached to. So would you say then it's about, as you mentioned, working in the calm and peace? So I can go about working, like I can still work and be, I don't want to use the word driven, I guess, but I can still have that work ethic, but it's about being not attached and being calm and being relaxed and really being at peace for whatever the outcome is.
Real self, when we say, there are two things to be understood clearly from the perspective of the Eastern wisdom. There is a desire fulfillment, and there is a self-fulfillment.
Right.
When we say self, real self, pure consciousness, center of our existence, we say this real self is self-existent. Means what? It is beyond cause and effect, self-evident. It does not need anyone to depend on.
Right.
Self-luminous. It knows itself. So one is the self-fulfillment. Real self is the center of our existence. That is what I discussed, the fourth goal. The
Right.
supreme goal of our life is to realize the self. But now comes how to realize the self. So we have 3 goals. What are the 3 goals?
Yeah, goal of life.
Goal in life. Goal in life is earning money.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Earning money, definitely, in the modern world and also in the previous world. Why earning money? To have a controlled, regulated pleasure fulfillment, not uncontrolled pleasure.
Right.
So pleasure management is there. So I should fulfill my pleasure because that pleasure leads me to gain experience and evolve further. So I should understand clearly where I'm going. I'm not talking about some personal things that I will talk later. That
Mhm.
is how I evolve. So three goals in life. I should follow the rules of the land,
Mhm.
society, nation. What is that? That is what we say righteousness, virtues. Why to follow the virtues? Because it will grow my intellect in a right direction. Whether it is the rules of the road, whether it is the rules in the family, whether it is the social or the collective law. So that is also the goals, one goals in life. Why? Why? Because we are born as animals to keep in check so that the intellect is not corrupted. You see that pornography, etc., etc. One example I said. So a lot of stuff is going on. So there must be a righteousness in life that gives the intellect a proper and a right direction. That is the one goal. In second goal in earning money, there is no limit in earning money provided the intellect keeps sitting in the real self.
Right.
Intellect is sitting in the real self. When the intellect is sitting in the real self, I am calm, I am relaxed, I am more than creative. I am more creative than those people who are excited. Who
Right.
are excited. They give more value to $10 million than $10,000 they are getting every month. So it means there is no desire fulfillment. Desire can never be fulfilled. One thing is very clear, it cannot be fulfilled. Second part, that desire does not even touch the real happiness which is within you because pleasure is short lived. It alternates with the pain and pleasure. So the second thing comes, second type of intellect. I did not talk about it, but you have given me an opportunity. So first is known as the righteous intellect, the intellect with the virtues. This is what all the religion teaches. So we are not going into the religion. We are saying the right intellect, follow the rules of the law, the society, pay the taxes in time. Then you are not rewarded. If you don't pay the taxes in time, you are punished. You follow the rules of the road. 60 miles per hour is the speed. You speed, over speed, you are punished. So why should I get punished? Unnecessary. Can I use my intellect? Yes. So like this. Same way, relationship at the social level with my honey, with my kids, with my friends, etc. That is the first goal in life we have to constantly follow that. Second is the dispassion intellect. Why dispassion intellect? I enjoy the pleasure. I enjoy the pleasure of my life. I like pasta, let me eat it. If resources are there with the right means, let me eat it, let me earn it. But with a dispassion, if the pasta is not there, can I live? Yes, I can live. Still, I exist? Yes, I can exist. So, what will happen? Then my intellect will get rid of the pain and the pleasure, the extreme attachment and detachment. that causes lot of crime, violence, pain, suffering, blame, complaint, game in my in my in my in my life. You see the second intellect. Now comes the third intellect. You asked me a wonderful question. So I thought, because I did not cover that part, so let me cover that. Third intellect. My way is the only way. Michael, either you listen to me or stop it. That is a wrong. So ego. So I have to replace this ego intellect by real self. Real self is the real existence. Come on. That is all pervading. That is same in Michael and me also. So why to say my way is the only way? Where comes the ego? Why should I claim the proper? Why should I claim that this is my knowledge, etc., etc.? So that helps you to loosen the knot of your ego. And that gives the way to the real self. So the supreme goal, real self. Huh? How to get the real self? By learning the principles of Eastern wisdom.
What were those three intellects again? There's the right intellect, my way is the right way. I missed the second one.
Dispassion intellect.
Oh, dispassion. Yeah.
Dispassion intellect helps you to recognize. Oh,
Right.
Don't get carried away by so much of attachment and detachment. Keep a balance in life. Okay. For example, the honey is saying, I have been saying you don't listen to me. You listen to him or her. Okay, I heard you. You are a great honey. I will follow you. Just be cool and calm. Don't impose your own thought that my way is the only way. So then we have a third intellect, and the fourth intellect helps you. When the intellect keeps sitting in the real self, then you discover the real self. Awakening and realization takes place. We are all awakened. Thank you very much.
That was awesome, Girish.
Michael, thank you. You came to. I know that that's why I inspired you to join. Everyone is so good here.
Welcome, Michael.
Thanks.
At least they tolerate me and they listen to me. No, wonderful. So we'll meet next week.
See you next week, Girish.
Yeah.
See you next week.